Hey, you know that great Pennsylvania governor who, even as he shut private businesses down and imposed all kinds of so-called pandemic edicts starting in 2020, also shot a video telling people to enjoy their home confinements and read a book? Well, that great Governor Wolf just vetoed a bill from state Republicans that would have allowed those homeowners to choose their own forms of home heat rather than be forced onto an electric grid by their city-based politicians. Hi everyone, I'm Gardner Goldsmith for MRC-TV. Okay, imagine you're the protagonist in a detective story, the kind that sees you standing above heaps of dirty coffee mugs and before a wall chock full of photos and thumbtacks and notes and government and corporate logos all over the place and yarn connections between those logos and the baddies and their plots. Well, that's what it's like covering the anthropogenic climate change cult and the ceaseless revelations of their crazy coercive plans and their proposals and their connections with each other. And now we have another such story. The Associated Press reports, quote, citing the need to fight climate change, Pennsylvania's Democrat Governor Tom Wolf has vetoed Republican-penned legislation that would have stopped municipalities from adopting building codes that prohibit natural gas hookups. Yep. Hidden in that political double negative there is the fact that Wolf wants to allow, and in fact seems to advocate for, city-level politicians and bureaucrats banning private property owners from using natural gas as a heating source for homes and offices and shops and other occupancies.
The Republican bill was aimed at allowing new buildings to be powered by natural gas. It would have done that by blocking communities from requiring all electric. Governor Wolf says that would have hampered communities that want to make that choice on their own to help fight climate change.
The Don has acted to be sure that his local thugs can threaten civilians under the pretext of saving the planet from, of course, a boogeyman that year after year becomes less and less credible, doesn't show up on most folks' Fear Street bookshelf, even as the leftist pop media fear mongers the issue, and reveals itself as mostly a tool of political control and taxation to mandate the so-called cure. It's a push to get as many Pennsylvania residents connected to politically controlled electric grids, which likely will be energized by the burning of natural gas or coal to create the steam to turn the turbines that will pump those precious, delicious ions to waiting civilians. And if this scheme sounds familiar, it might be because in December of last year, I reported on Democrat New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy's plan to ban oil and natural gas heat by 2050 across the whole state. And of course, in April of this year, I reported on Democrat New York Governor Kathy Hochul's plan to ban oil and gas as heat in any new buildings in 2027. And Democrat Hawaii Governor David Ige's move to shut down the state's last coal-fired power plant. The demented drive to force people away from the cheapest and most efficient forms of energy, such as oil and coal and natural gas, and onto centrally controlled, unreliable, uncompetitive government utility grids that, unless they connect to coal or natural gas energy plants, will then be tied to inefficient and unreliable windmills and vast heat island generating solar panel farms. Well, that move is showing itself on the national level as well, as President Joe Biden,
come on, man,
the Democrats in the House and Senate, and plenty of rhinos in both houses take our money and enslave our progeny to subsidize erroneously titled so-called green electric grids, electric vehicles, and mandates via the patently unconstitutional and immoral so-called infrastructure bill passed last year. Yeah, awesome. And Murphy's smokescreen about local political control, well, it certainly stings the mind's eye when considering the fact that in 2019, Governor Murphy issued an executive order mandating, among other climate-changey pipe dreams, the creation of a carbon emission allowances trading system, i.e., carbon taxes imposed on people who, to avoid the charges, must spend lots of money on mitigation technology or change their energy supply, or when they're very good slaves and they've conformed, can trade their allowances that they earn from their overlords, all while being told it's really a free market system they've been chained into. Wolf did this in conjunction with plans being laid out in 8 other participating East Coast states. And they're all part of what's called Rggi. You might have heard about this, the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative Corporation. It's a corporation that they formed in 2009. And it was formed by the governments of Connecticut, Delaware, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Virginia. And I have to say, in 2021, this will help put it all in pretty good perspective. Guess what Wolf did? He also announced his desire to change local, municipal, resident, and business behavior to facilitate statewide carbon emissions reduction. So, does anyone not think that Wolf will use state carrots and sticks to incentivize local politicians and local pushes for bans on oil and natural gas heat? Maybe that's why he vetoed the Republican move to protect residents in localities. I mean, seriously, Wolf, come on. You're talking about local control? You've already told us you don't want people to have local control. You know, fatuousness does not become you, Governor Wolf. We all remember how Governor Wolf blithely shot a public service ad directed at people he had locked out of work and school during the early days of his so-called pandemic scaremongering.
Books have really enriched my life, and I think they enrich all of our lives. And right now, when we're all at home, this is a great time to retreat into a book and see the world through somebody else's eyes.
That was the glorious footage of him telling those Pennsylvania residents to read a book while he destroyed their lives and livelihoods. And in it, one easily could detect his arrogance and conceit. And I think it's evident right now as he vetoes an attempt by Republicans in Pennsylvania to stop his overall plan to centralize the home heating decisions of state residents and eventually get them on a politically controlled electric grid. Yeah, one wonders if Governor Wolf has ever read any books that focus on freedom or American history or fascism. And perhaps, if he has, he certainly hasn't learned any key lessons in them, or doesn't appreciate any of the real principles they discuss. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hey, if you're on YouTube, I'll see you in the comments section. Going strong on YouTube recently. So far, so good. If you don't want censorship, head to Rumble, and give us a plus down below. We'll rise in the ranks at Rumble. And also the subscriptions have been rising rapidly there, so thank you very much. We'll find you on Facebook as well. We'll communicate with you in there. And please visit MRCTV.org, MRCTV.org. I tell you, Brent Bozell had a great idea 35 years ago. It is the 35th anniversary of the Media Research Center. And what a great team. Awesome people. You can find me also on Gab. I'm at Gardner Goldsmith. And on Twitter, I'm at Gard Goldsmith. And yeah, it would be terrific to interact with you there. And of course, we are also on TikTok, MRC TV, and Instagram as well. Thanks for watching. For MRC TV, I'm Gardner Goldsmith.